2010-11 budget, please?
Yes, I'm asking the committee to consider recommendation. My recommendation is Mrs. Trish Martins, who is the director for Newport County Regional Special Ed, and I have gone through the budget, and along with her assistant directors, based on student need and student population for next year, I'm recommending to the committee, with Trish's approval or agreement, that we can reduce our teaching staff by 2 full-time special education teaching positions and 2.8 special education teacher assistant positions, which combined would save an additional $228,356.
Does this mean we will no longer have a self-contained classroom at the high school?
That's correct. Our special needs self-contained classroom, which services currently 4 students, will be disbanded, and those students, the 2 remaining students, will be going to Middletown, where there's a regional program there. That's where our students used to go for years. Same type of program, but it's located in Middletown.
So they're restructuring?
They're restructuring the program based on our needs, number of students, and Trish is comfortable with. As a matter of fact, the recommendation came from them.
Right. So does that mean we'll have an increase in a purchase services line?
No.
Because we will pay to have them?
No, it's a regional program, so
Okay.
these are one of the programs where we share, where we don't have to pay extra. Similar to our behavioral support class that we have at the middle school, we have students from other districts in the region, so there's no additional cost. So that's where we get our one of our major savings, is so that we share those types of programs.
And the services will still be provided?
Yes, so the service will certainly be provided.
Transportation, also known, please?
No, there's nothing. It's all accounted for. Yep.
Okay. All right, so the total savings, as you said,
128,356, and then if you look at the chart, the running total on where we have savings. Currently, we were at 548,314. That is over the cap.
It's on page 4A.
It's on page 4A. It's one of the last pages. Actually, it is the last page. If you deduct the 2 teaching positions and the special ed teacher assistant positions, the number over the cap that we would be at is 319,982. Now our number, so it's simple for people, voters, we are asking for the cap. So even if our number is approved at the town meeting, if this recommendation is approved, the committee would still have to make $319,000 in reductions to get to the cap number. So that's what this represents and what it means.
the cap number, us calculate based on our numbers?
Absolutely.
As of now?
As of now.
As of now.
If new information comes in?
We're currently, you guys are jumping the gun a little on me, but we were up at RIDE this past Thursday, Mr. Gundy, Mrs. Black, Mr. Fiore, and I, to discuss the issue of what number to use, for lack of a better description. We met with Carolyn Dias, who is the financial officer for RIDE, as well as with Cindy Brown and Forrest Avia, who is one of the attorneys for RIDE. We brought to their attention our concerns. We believe, we know they're working on it. Mr. Robinson spoke with Mr. Avia today. They're working on a response. We hope to have it within a couple of days, and we'll be able to report out. And if the number does change, there's still time left before the town meeting. If it was lower, in other words, if our number was incorrect and we had to change it, there's certainly time to do so.
And just a reminder, our number is $25,645,096. In total, it represents a 3% increase over the current year budget. Despite us using the cap amount, we're also estimating a decrease in state aid.
And when you look at it, and also when you look at the tentative docket, the most recent version that we've seen, the reduction that the budget committee wants to make to the school department is 19.5%. At $20,047,961. That's a reduction from the 24.9 that we currently have,
And
or
Doug,
19.5%.
our number is no longer 21,285, 285?
That's the
That's the
local
local.
That's the
portion
local
combined with our
portion.
state aid.
But in order for us to meet the
It is
DEP,
total.
we need that.
We also requested clarification from RIDE on how that number should be presented at the financial town meeting, and we're waiting their response on that as well.
Right. But, so if we look and compare the local appropriation as will be presented by the budget committee
Mhm.
versus the number we will
Mhm.
put forward, the difference is 1.2 million.
Correct.
So if the budget committee number is approved, that will be the second year that the school committee would get $1
That's
more.
correct.
And we would be looking at cutting $1.2 million from our budget.
That's correct.
At a minimum.
At a minimum.
And those options would all come from this
That's
worksheet that
that's
we have
correct.
posted online.
Yes. And just to go to that worksheet, and we have talked about it for a while. And I have spoken to the committee, this committee and previous committees that I've been fortunate enough to work with. And I've always warned the committee committee members, not to put things out there just to rile the public, to generate support. In other words, don't say you're going to cut a program unless you really mean it, unless you're going to do it, because you lose all credibility after that point. And to date, we have never done that. But now with the committee, the school committee, myself, Mr. Fiore, we are faced possibly with the second year in a row getting $1 more. That 1.2 million, we can't make happen. There's a couple of ways it can happen, but if the way the committee chooses, if you choose to reduce the budget, 1.2 million comes out, and the only things that we have to cut is to consider closing an elementary school, one of the 3 new ones that we just built, athletics, and music. Both at the middle school, music program, band program, as well as strings and chorus at the high school, along with 10 additional teaching positions. The committee would have to consider to get to that 1.2 million. These are very drastic cuts that the committee would have to make. I believe the public now needs to know that things are shaping up to be. This is probably the most important vote that has been taken in this town in some time.
But cannot forget about one additional issue that the committee is one additional option, which is to get deep concessions from the teachers union, and we have to honestly admit that this committee failed to obtain such concession as of today. So this is not just the only option which is available, which is to cut the programs, but the other option is, the combined option includes getting concessions from the teachers union. So it's not
Getting $320,000 worth of concessions from the teachers will get us to cap. We are counting on at least $320,000 worth of concessions from the teachers to get to cap. We have budgeted $320,000 worth of concessions from the teachers.
We budgeted
And that includes
500, am I right?
18% co-share.
500.
I believe it was for 445.
Or 445, close to, yeah, 445.
So-
Some concessions.
With concessions, should we get $1 more, we will need to cut $1.2 million from our schools. And I would encourage
That's true.
everyone who's interested, who will be voting at the financial town meeting, to go online to the Tiverton Schools website and look at the potential reductions that we will be looking at as a school committee should we be faced with cutting 1.2 million. I've done that. And this is what I found.